And I see quite a few people joined today. It's really nice to see everybody here. Uh, just a quick intro of myself. I'm Oleg. I'm outbound expert in Maildoso. I run all the Maildoso campaigns, and we invited Pranam Libinsky as our expert guest to uncover some of the secrets he uses in his multiple digit agency to build meeting booking machines. And just one more thing before we start. A few minutes before the stream, we decided to make a little giveaway. We will give away Meldoso merch. We have like a hoodie like this one. It says Maildoso here, and there's I think some of our viewers already have one from our previous giveaway. So please feel free to ask questions to Pranam, and the best question will get the merch. The one Pranam, you can be the one who chooses the best question. The question you like the most will be the winner of the merch today.
Sounds great.
Yeah. Okay, Pranam, let's start. Could you just give a brief background of you and your like what you're doing?
Yeah, I am someone who loves marketing, someone who loves sales, and I've been doing marketing and sales for over 15 years now as an entrepreneur in different industries, from real estate development to HR tech software to cold email marketing. And it's what I really like to study and learn about. And it's something that I feel very passionate about because ultimately it's about humans and understanding humans and also creating value for humans and connecting humans. So, I like humans. I like the chance to make the commercial and business opportunity as well between us all. So I've been running email outreach company, which is the current company that I am at for about 3.5 years now, and we have worked with some great clients all the way up to Fortune 500s, down to solo founders, and me being someone who loves marketing and loves direct response marketing. No project or no pitch is too small. So if you're on this call, just know that I'm not a cold email or marketing snob. I'm someone who wants to find a way to pitch anything really, that is healthy and good for others, of course. And that's really an important part of what my origin story is just enjoying the art of doing this. Now we have booked just in the last you know few years over 10,000 meetings of sales meetings, and we've also used this method of booking meetings. When I was working in my HR tech startup, we used this to book meetings and actually close deals because we were selling HR tech to companies like Apple, companies like Bank of America, MasterCard. Um, and so, we know that this works all the way to the top. And I've even used this to book meetings with billionaires and phone calls with them personally. So, what we'll talk about today is a lot, but just know that I'm coming here from the standpoint of nothing is too small to pitch. I love to pitch and love to market.
Or- Yeah, great, Pranam. So, mm, okay, let's dive into it. Could you, uh, like, we don't have a rigid plan of this conversation. So
Sure.
whatever you think is good to start with, maybe you're like, how do you, like, whenever you have to start a cold outbound campaign, what do you start with? How is your mm, process of thought working when you have to start outbound campaign for a new client, let's say, or
Well,
for yourself?
why don't we just so I can understand the audience that's here in the group chat, if you could just type in how many years you have been doing cold email. So if you've been doing it for half a year, you can type in, you know, 0.5, or, you know, a month, whatever, good, 1 month, 1 year, a year, just so I can get a sense of, okay, 4 years, how much experience we have here. 27 years,
Yeah,
great.
7 years.
Yep. 6 months, so good. Okay, good. So from beginner all the way to 27 years. So we have a good audience today that is giving us a wide range of expertise. And along that line, what that tells me, Oleg, is just we need to focus on the basics. And when it comes to anytime I'm facing a problem with cold emailing, I'm always thinking about three things, and that's always the starting point when we onboard a client, or when we onboard you know, come up with a new pitch or campaign. The three things that I'm always thinking about to begin the cold emailing journey for something new is, what are the lists, what is the copy like, and how is our deliverability for them. And so the deliverability part, that's where a company like Maildoso, whom we have several thousand inboxes with, um, they take care of the deliverability, and they give us the visibility to see if the inboxes are performing well. And, you know, that's of course after we warm up inboxes for 2 weeks. So as long as we do that, from a deliverability standpoint, we're in a good place. Use a good vendor, get good inboxes, warm them up for 2 weeks, and then don't send at what we do. We send at don't send more than 10 emails per inbox per day. Just keep the inboxes healthy. And then when you think about the, you know, copy, from a copy standpoint, you know, you think about how do you make sure that you're understanding the unique value prop that you're trying to pitch out there. And then the other side of it is the lists, you know, just basic things like, what are the job titles, what size companies, what locations are you trying to reach out to, what industry. And so anytime we're beginning the cold email journey, lists, copy, deliverability is the three that, if you're beginning, and also if you're in the middle of a cold emailing campaign and it's not going as well as you want and you want to reset things, always go back to those basics, and it'll be one of those three things that really aren't working for you. And if you fix it, you know, your campaigns are going to get better. So that's a great place, Oleg, to start. And along that line, you know, I'd like to ask everybody here. Okay, we have some questions, but I like to ask everybody here, um, where do you get your lists when you get started? Like, right now, who do you use to get lists? Do you use Apollo? Do you use Apify? Okay, Zoom Info, Instantly, yeah, Sales Nav.
That's the one I wanted to ask you. How do you
Yeah,
go about getting lists?
many vendors, and, you know, there's not a magic bullet for which exact vendor is right for which client. But, you know, we use Apollo um, sources, we use Apify, we use Instantly sometimes, we also use Sales Nav sometimes, we've used SalesBot. We're always on the hunt for a cleaner place to have lists, and, you know, we're always willing to test out new lists. Now, lists are an important part of this discussion, just because if you have a great list and you are very filtered and targeted, chances are um, you're going to have a good chance at success. So in the beginning, the list is where it starts, and I recommend all of you here to, yeah, Stephen Bradford, Apollo, Apify, and Direct Purchase. That's pretty much the majority of our list that we use. Telescope is great. We love that as a new tool, and we've tried that as well. So yeah, that gives me a good sense of where we are for list building. Now, once everybody gets their lists, can we put in the chat, how do you generate your copy? Do you use ChatGPT? Do you write with take some time and write down pen and paper type of stuff? Do you talk to the client, ask them for their copy? If you're an agency, do you work with your copywriting team? Okay, so we got people instantly prompt, pen, paper, nice. Then GPT. Okay, good. Yeah, so
Can I
some.
jump, can I jump in with the previous question?
Mhm.
I've had just one question about that. So depending on the size of your TAM, I mean, if you had like 10,000 TAM or 1 million TAM, would your approach to list building be generally the same, or would it be like completely different?
Uh, that's a good question. And yes, if you were with a 10 million TAM, you can get a huge bulk list. I would definitely recommend Apollo uh, scrapers if you have the chance to use an Apollo scraper. You can use Export Apollo. You can use an Apify actor. That's for like bulk lists, and then like super targeted. You can use Telescope. You can use Sales Navigator. You can use ICPs. You can use instantly when you're just trying to get very filtered and dialed in. So yeah, it just depends on the size. So that's a good question, Oleg.
Thanks.
All right, so in copy, it looks like everybody's got nowadays a combination of, we got human writing and then some form of AI. So it's interesting to look at, just imagine 24 months ago, none of us would have any knowledge or understanding about what even, GPT and Claude and AI mean. And then now all of us are using it. So it's amazing how fast this industry and the world can change when technology accelerates, our ability to write, our ability to create. And that's only going to keep increasing. And you can imagine it's going to extend to more things like design or other types of parts of our work. So, all right. So we use that Claude. We use, when we're talking about copy here, it looks like everybody's pretty much on ChatGPT and writing. Uh, I'm going to recommend, just if you can, find your way to Claude. And if you want the best creative writing, Claude Sonnet 3.7 or Claude 4 are the best models that I've found to use for copy related to booking meetings. So if you don't already have Claude, it's just a ChatGPT competitor, and it tends to be better at creative writing than ChatGPT. So that's the first main, recommendation that I would have for everybody, is to use Claude. And yeah, you can use Perplexity as well with Claude on top of it, or the engine in it. But yeah, I would really strongly suggest Claude as your first tool in the toolkit when you go to copy. And I'm gonna share my screen a little bit, and I want to share with you all. And after this, I'll give a link to Oleg, and Oleg, you can share it with everybody if you'd like. Um, but this is the prompt that we would use, if we had some research notes on our client, or sorry, our prospect. So just who we're reaching out to, and obviously we automate this by connecting Claude into Clay. So it's a little bit, Clay is just a spreadsheet that brings in a lot of AI tools for, thousands of rows to be able to write your copy. But if you're just dealing with like one prompt window, this is what I will share and recommend. And by the way, this is exactly what we would use from an AI copy standpoint. And there's a lot of science and art to this. And then there's a few variables. So, make sure you have the prospect's first name, make sure you got your pitch, and then any research on the prospect. And so by using this in Claude, and if you can do it at scale by um, attaching Claude into Clay, then you can create some really, really good copy without needing anything more than these few things, and obviously real emails. So um, on this note, everybody here, I'll give you it through Oleg a link to this, and you can view it. So from a copy standpoint, I emphasize using Claude and this type of prompt to, again, create some meeting booking machines. Does anybody have any questions between what I've shared right here? Otherwise, we can move on to the next part.
Yeah, we have quite a lot of questions here.
Okay, and Kevin said, "How do you book 10,000 meetings?" So, Kevin, we've been working with cold email now for a while. So, over the last 3.5, 4 years that we've started, it's been, we started out without Claude, of course, but I'm just telling you that technology has moved so fast so far that you don't we could automate the writing of emails so much better with Claude than when we started in the beginning. I was, of course, just writing it with pen and paper and then bringing it to bringing it to a sending platform.
By the
Okay,
way,
so yep.
yeah, sorry to interrupt. Could you just give a quick overview of how would the Clay setup look like with this prompt? So would you like have different variables for
Yeah,
each
so
prospect?
let me go get right into that. So this would be for a client of ours, and
Mhm.
what we do is um, we are pulling in uh, a call, an HTTP call API to Open Router is called. So it allows you to have like enterprise connection, so you don't have to have limits on your um, how many calls you can make per minute. And we pull it in, and then we use a certain model of Claude, Sonnet 4. And then by bringing in this API through Open Router, um, we then use this prompt like this, and you can see, we've got the same exact thing, and the variables, same
Mhm.
prompt, and then we've got a bunch of research because we did automate the research on every prospect as well. And then that, ends up producing this copy. But, if I wanted to run this line again, I would just hit the play button. And you can imagine it. Nice thing about Clay is I can hit, 1,000 play buttons at a time, and it'll run for the entire spreadsheet for all the rows. But yeah, then it'll build something like this, So that's that's how we do it from Claude into Clay and at scale.
Yeah, looks great. Uh, just a little bit of a technical question here. So you run it through an external API call, but why don't you use built-in Claude integration since you can use your own API key there, or is it something different?
Yeah, it's a great
Yeah.
question. The real part of it is how many calls you can make per second
Mm.
or minute. And Claude only gives you certain amount of. They're a little bit strict of who they give that like insane
I see.
level of access. So what we use is Open Router. It's like the middleman between enterprise like high scale Claude and your Clay table. So Open Router gives you that wide open access to call thousands of times, a minute if you need to, without needing that enterprise access key.
Yeah. Thanks for explanation here.
You're welcome. And I will put in the chat just so everybody will have it here.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll share it. Can you share this in our community?
Yep, I'll
Yep,
share it
great, thanks.
in the
I mean,
Slack.
I could take the link and then after the live stream we'll make a post with and share all the information that's
Great.
important
Yep.
following up the live stream.
Well, I'll
Yeah,
put it in the chat for everybody, and then Oleg, afterwards, you can take it and put it into the
yeah,
Slack and make a post. So I just put it for everybody, and again, it's a really really good prompt that you can enjoy and use it one by one or use it within Clay. Now, I just showed you how to use Clay for that, and then I'm going to skip over because we only have so much time. I'm going to skip over to actually the part where if someone replies and they want to schedule a call, like these are now what I'm getting into is if someone wants to actually, if they're replying and they want to schedule a call, I put in here the follow up, like the format that you can reply with. Okay. And then let's say that they want to schedule a call, but they're not available or you're not available. You can use this. You can put in your own calendar link. And then if they're not interested, just a very simple whatever, if it's not the right person. And again, we've spent 4 or 5 years building our systems, and so you can benefit from this, and that's part of being in the Maildoso community. You can benefit from our years of experience, so you can use these templates. And yeah, so it's if people want more info, if people don't have time,
Do
um,
you use automated um, like automated reply labeling to fire these templates automatically to the replies, or would you do it manually?
Um, we do it mostly manually, but instantly the tool we connect our Maildoso inboxes to instantly does a great job of now they have like an AI suggested replying tool. And so you can within instantly have like at least a general suggested reply to each reply. So okay.
Yeah, because we've experimented with that, but instantly is okay with identifying interested versus non-interested prospect, but when it comes to like different grades of being interested, it's not so good. Mm,
Yeah.
doesn't define it
Yeah,
so well.
right. I know it's not the greatest in the world, but it's better than nothing. But that's why you have these. And so if you can manually just have these templates ready to go and reply to people, it's awesome. And we've handled
Yeah,
now, honestly, we've probably handled 100,000 plus replies. And so you can imagine trying to break it down into 8 templates. And we have, one or two others that might come up per client, but pretty much these will get you through 100,000 replies.
yeah.
Uh,
This is
well,
really awesome. Like really plug and
yeah,
play.
exactly. Yeah, and that's what that's the best part of having these webinars is we can share value with everybody here, and we all can benefit, and hopefully have good practices in our industry. so everybody can, send out good emails and get good replies. I'm also going to add in the chat, if you want more info, or you want us to work for you, my co-founder, just talk to him. That's his calendar. And we can help you with like larger scale stuff if you don't want to do it on your own. So feel free to book a call with him. Someone asked, could you show us how copies generated through the Claude prompt look? So this is an example, Pratik. I just ran this one, but it's like this is how it looked. Building Colorado's largest health hospital. Blah blah blah. I help health executives like you access private jet cards. Blah blah blah. So you can
So
see.
this is the whole copy, right?
Correct.
Or
Yeah, and then
do you have PS line
yeah,
or
we have a signature, and we have a PS. And by the way, anybody who's looking to donate for good and align your meeting outcomes with incentives for everybody, we have a PS that will double your replies and also improve the warmth that you receive the replies from. Like, people will not hate you when you email, and you can say, PS, when you reply, we will donate a bowl of dog food to a shelter, because your time is valuable and it should be a win-win to
that's
hear.
a really creative approach. I love it. I love this. Very
Yeah, and
nice. And
we with that, we've donated, like, because we used to do 5 bowls, but anyways, it's like we've donated 250,000 bowls of dog food. So we put our money where our mouth is, and we've generated a lot of goodwill doing it. So yeah, that's a good way for you to add a PS that will endear you to your prospects, or at least be a little bit less hated when you send a cold email to them.
yeah, well, you cannot hate an email that says
Exactly. That's it. Everybody loves puppies. Everybody loves ice cream. We haven't figured out how to give everybody an ice cream, but we have figured out how to donate to dog shelters. So, all right. And I know we're coming up to time. Any questions? I'll just take this other one. Hi, Pranam. What kind of info do we need to prepare about the company to maximize the quality of the first email? Is there any prompt? I would just, you don't have to get that complicated now with Claude 4. So because Claude 4 is so good, I'm just going to like show you how all I gave this here is that my pitch is private jet cards. So 3 words, that's all I told it about what our offer was. And it went, and I help healthcare executives access private jet cards, whether it's blah, 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 like for critical travel. It already knows. Claude is so smart that you don't have to like babysit what your offer is. It'll do now. It's so good at understanding how to pitch whatever you give it. So it's not as intensive as it used to be. All right. Would you recommend
so
starting? Yeah.
you basically enter your pitch. You don't really go much into the details of the pitch. It's just like little short part of the prompt.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and the smarter AI gets, like Claude, the better it's going to be able to explain what you do better than even you can. So, outsource that to the Claude brain and you're good. Um, so, all right. Nicholas, what do you recommend to avoid the hate factor? I put, Nicholas, check out that PS I put in there. Um, that's the best way to reduce hate, is to donate to dogs, or something similar. All right, let's go to another. Someone sent me direct message. When using Claude through Clay, how much personalization are you actually including? Um, what's been working best to create high converting count? I mean, I think the first paragraph should be good personalization. The rest of it, you got to pitch. And I think that keep making sure your copy isn't too long is important. So, it's really just maybe one paragraph that includes a couple lines about stuff. But we do about, we get maybe 4 paragraphs of research about each prospect, and then we condense that down in like an opening paragraph in the cold email. Do you think we can get away from uh with hyper personalization? Josh, saw you like hiking. Um, yeah, I mean, most people won't think it's creepy. I think it's good. Oh, if we can get away with hyper, if we're segmenting based on industry, um, yeah, you could, but I think you probably would want to look at signals that would um, that would be a little bit more timely. Um, spin tax, always use spin tax if you're not using AI. Good reply rate. Really, it's if on unique sends, so that's including all follow-ups and everything. If you send out 100,000 emails total, that means you might have a list of 20,000. Maybe you sent to them 5 times. I recommend really 3 times per sequence. So maybe you have a list of 33,000, you send to them 3 times. Out of that 99,000 that you send, if you can get 1% to reply, uh, good. Don't overthink it. You're doing okay. If you're below that, you're in trouble. Um, but if you're above that, you're doing just fine. So, it's really that true value of how many you sent, not just unique contacts, unique total sends. And if you can be above 1%, that's good. Subject lines, I would just make sure that, like for me, what we do is we use um, a subject line that's got something like 4 words, and we use it, make it possessive. So like Jerry's seamless care solution, Carol's travel efficiency solution. These are all ways to, like, you could think about a 4-word possessive subject line that reads the email and writes a unique 4-word subject. So, all right. Um,
So it takes the subject line, it takes the sender's name, right?
correct. Or no, not the
Yeah.
sender, the recipient.
Oh, oh, yeah. Great, great.
All right. Multi-channel, we've used LinkedIn. We haven't used text, but we just primarily focus on cold email. We found it works better than anything else. Start broad. Yeah, definitely start broad, see what signals you find. And we don't track open rates. We recommend against it. Some people might say the pixel isn't that heavy, but anything that can help your deliverability, do it in today's world. Um, and I'm just going through the questions. .in domains, I don't have any experience with it. So, but I have heard that any type of domain ending, you're okay. Um, different messages you want to see, I'll show you. I noticed how you built, I actually love this one. I noticed how you built Nomi Health around cutting through healthcare's bureaucratic mess, something most CEOs talk about, but few actually tackle. So good. Your direct contracting approach reminds me of how private jet cards eliminate the traditional charter hassles. Think about the transition line there. So good. Um, and then getting into this. So yeah, this is another example here. And okay. HTTP API call, it's just pulling in like a it's in clay, and you just add an enrichment, and you simply just um, make sure that let's see here.
I could explain that. So HTTP API is just Clay calling another tool.
Yeah,
Uh,
good way to say it.
like it sends some information and it gets some information back. So you can connect literally any tool with HTTP API call
Yeah,
to Clay table.
good way to say it. Okay. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate everybody's great questions. Oleg, it seems like you have a very excited audience.
Yeah, thanks. It's great we had so many good questions today. And I had just a couple more questions, more
Cool.
like more broadly concerning running an agency. Like the first question, is there any criteria you would choose or to onboard or not onboard a client? Like would some industries, maybe startup stage or something, make you not take on a client?
Um, we've learned the hard way that yeah, it's funny because some clients, yeah, if they don't have an offer or a business that works, you can't just make something out of nothing. However, that's becoming less true as time goes on. You can kind of pitch anything with the right prompt and the right list and the right deliverability. But what we found in terms of an agency side is when we can't produce for a client, usually it has to do with two things. The client doesn't communicate responsively with us, so they take forever to get back to us. And then the other thing is they have knee jerk reactions to bad days or bad weeks. We really need to look at it in a multi month relationship. You can't overreact when something isn't going well in the first day or, the fifth day. So that ends up being, Oleg, the defining things that actually cause us to not succeed for a client. The other stuff, if we do get good communication and people have patience and take the long run look, usually we can figure it out pretty well.
Yeah, great, thanks for the answer. And what's your overall strategy on Outlook? Outlook has been a pain for
Yeah, I mean
many code developers.
we're testing out like different aged domains. We're testing out Outlook to Outlook stuff. Like we've always been testing, but I can say the best that I've seen recently is we got one positive reply out of 600 sent. That was about it. So we're really not getting much from Outlook, just like everybody else.
Yeah, I've seen all sorts of different strategies, but yeah, it looks like Outlook is still a pain to get, but some people have success. I even know some people who send only to Outlook, but they are using a really low volume approach to send into Outlook, and they're
Yeah,
like doing it
yeah,
successfully still. Yeah,
exactly. And
we have, yeah, please go on.
no, Steph said your website doesn't work. I know, Steph, the embarrassing but terrible reality of the entrepreneur who gets someone who we hire someone new and then they mess with the DNS and then by tomorrow it'll be fixed. So thank you for telling us, and it'll be fixed tomorrow. No worries.
We have a question about out of office messages here. Like if you're sending millions of emails, the question is quite long. I'm going to summarize it. If you're sending millions of emails, you get a lot of out of office messages, or someone is no longer working their messages and there is a contact of another person. Would you use that data somehow?
Uh, yeah, you can take them. You can. I mean, a lot of people are. You can keep sending after you get the out of office, of course. I mean, the other side is people will take all the out of office ones and then you can write a custom campaign that says, "Hey, I noticed you're out of the office on blah blah blah, so I'm reaching back out." So it feels a little bit more personalized.
Yeah, actually, that sounds like a good approach to. I think instantly you could actually do that based on your out of office labeling, you could push the leads to another campaign that does exactly that. I haven't tried that. It just popped into my head that
Yeah.
you could do that with out of office replies. Mm,
And Steph, if you want, you can just talk to my co-founder if you have any questions. All right, Oleg, feel free to share any questions
um,
you saw.
I think we have a few more questions in the chat, and we also have to choose the best question
Right.
to give away the merch. Mm, 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 mm. Okay, let's just go one by one. We have just a few questions left. In the first email, is it better to mention what you solve or what you sell? Example, we generate qualified leads, or we know how to reach the right people. Yeah, so this is a question about the pitch, like what problem you solve, or like are you speaking about problem solving or about your product?
Problem, I always say that the they won't buy your solution until they buy your problem. So you have to get them to buy your problem first.
Okay, thanks. To the next question, how long should you give it? Not sure what, I guess, or maybe
Well, we
Nathan
do
meant
we do 2 days in between follow-ups. So
spending all this. Is
yeah, the whole
there
team.
A/B test data available between spending all this extra money on clay versus great copy? Like, does this even matter? That's actually
Well,
a great question.
yeah, you can just imagine that it comes down to scale. If I had unlimited time and I could write every single campaign, of course, I think that I could at least go toe to toe with AI copy. But because you want to scale it across, maybe you want to build an agency, or maybe you just have, another way of, you want to grow, or maybe you have many campaigns. AI makes that scalable.
Yeah, great. Thanks. And I'm a beginner. What industry to target? I'm not sure. Depends on what you do, I guess. But maybe if you're like doing outbound for other people, would you? Actually, that's a good question. I say, what if you're just starting outbound for other companies? Which industry would you target first
Mm,
to
I would
get
try to go to
quicker
places. Yeah,
traction?
I'd go to places that aren't so obvious. Also, I would go to smaller companies. Like, I don't know if I would be so much industry focused, but as an example, like I'd go to 50-person companies, and I would reach out to the owner or founder, say in real estate, who might not get hit up by, products all the time. And I would just try to get them on the phone. So, people who are decision makers at smaller companies that might be able to buy my product.
Yeah, okay. The next one, how could you get the list you have in front of you right now and import it from Clay and into your software you're using? Do you download it like this, or how does it work? Oh, this
Yeah,
is like a little bit of technical. It's about Clay.
yeah, you can just set it up so it can send into instantly directly from here. But also you can just export it as a CSV if you want, and then import it.
Yeah, so there is a quick note. So in order to use it like this with HTTP calls, I think you have to have like $350 a month subscription on Clay. Otherwise, you like can only use native integrations.
Right.
So in order to get the best of Clay, you gotta spend a little bit. But in my opinion, it's worth it, definitely.
Yeah. We're on a
Mm,
expensive tier.
yeah. How long do you usually test campaigns with new clients if there are no results? That's a good
Uh,
one.
I mean, every week we're trying to launch 2 campaigns per client. So it's like You just got to keep launching, sending fresh lists, new approaches. It's a never ending. You don't just, send and wait.
Yeah, would you just a small question from me? Would you like do you have a set template of or set of approaches that you apply to every client, or do you like start from ground up with every new client?
Um, well, this prompt we use pretty much with every client. It's just that maybe for some clients we will add in one or two custom things that they might want. Like maybe they want us to, not mention the word cryptocurrency or something like that. So you put that in the prompt too.
Yep, yep, got it. Could you, could you, okay, we already had this one. Well, actually, we've got like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 questions. Do you still have time to answer 7 questions?
Well, yeah, if we just run right through it versus if they keep coming.
Yeah, the last question is by Anthony McKinsey. So let's take this as last question and just answer these 7 questions here. Mm, how many months does it take to crack a customer cohort? How many campaigns? I
Uh,
guess, yeah,
I think if you send 4 campaigns, and at that point you should have a good idea.
yeah, great. One insight about human behavior, please. One insight about human behavior, please, that's most improved your response rate.
The PS, the whole philanthropic cause, like we'll donate to a bowl of dog food to a
Yeah,
shelter.
yeah, yeah, that's really a great one. Thanks for sharing it. Sounds like a $1 million secret
Yeah.
to cold emailing.
Yep.
How do you determine what all angles variance to try for testing so that we can scale what works?
I mean, just
Like,
try to launch 4 campaigns and then see what's hitting. Also, I shared that prompt. It's generally going to give you what you need to be able to succeed or at least test.
okay. If you could only personalize one part of the copy, what would it be and why?
The introduction, just because that's going to get them to read further.
Mhm. How long do you how long do you A/B test? I think we've already had similar question before. How long do you A/B test pivot campaigns? How many at a time?
Yeah,
Yeah.
try to get 4 campaigns out.
Mm, What's the hallucination prompt you're using in Clay? Not sure about the hallucination prompt.
Yeah,
What do you mean?
we have this thing that it reads the email. Sometimes if we implement a new prompt, I like to see if
Mhm.
it screws it up. So we actually have a more uh, studious model of Claude called Sonnet Thinking that reads pretty well, and then it makes sure that none of it's hallucinating. By hallucinating, what happens is it would pitch the prospect on the prospect's product. So instead of saying, "Hey, I sell private jet cards," it would say like, "Hey, Oleg, I sell Maildoso inboxes. You should buy Maildoso." For some reason, it would do that sometimes.
Yeah, so you actually for every line
Yeah.
you run 2 prompts. The one that's actually creating the copy, and the other one is like controlling if it's
Well, this is
right.
only this is only if we do a full prompt update. Like we rarely will ever use this
Mm,
now because we make sure that we'll run 1,000, and then if it's zero
mm,
out of 1,000 that hallucinate, we know it's good to run anywhere.
yeah, yeah, that's a great approach. Thanks. Mm, For mid-market to enterprise targets, do you recommend taking a multi-threading approach? And if so, how do you modify the copy to align with each role type?
I mean, for the sake of scaling, I would say just try to get one prompt that gets it right. But then just if you have a list that might be broken down into segments or sub lists, then just try different approaches there.
Okay. And the very last one, do you do hibernation cycles, warm-up only periods? Warm-up only periods and active sending periods and hibernation. Like, I guess is asking, do you stop your campaign emails completely for some periods to warm up?
We don't really, other than the beginning. I mean, the only time we will is if an inbox drops in the health score or it's burned, then we just take it out of the rotation for as long as it takes to get it back.
Okay. Yeah, and just one last question popped up right now. Let's finish with this one. Kyle Gomez, have you done prospecting on enterprise plus companies where there are 10, 15 potential prospects? I have tailored messaging and insight to the company, but how do you avoid being in spam? Okay, generally, how do you approach if there are 10, 15 potential prospects in one company?
I would say go 5 or less. I don't think you should do 10 to 15, but um yeah, maybe space it out. If with each campaign, I think you should do 5 or less per company. And by the way, so best question, I'm gonna go to Pratik, who said that what's one insight about human behavior that's most improved your response rates? Just because I think that that's good for and wow, Pratik's excited. We like that. She wrote in the chat, woohoo. So she's getting her Maildoso gear, and thanks for all the great questions, Pratik. You asked a bunch. So yeah, I hope you all take some of that answer of just because puppies could benefit, dogs could benefit, and everybody benefits, and you won't get as much hate from your cold emails. You'll get warm replies to your cold emails.
Yeah, thanks, Pranam, for your time. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. It was really full of insight, very helpful, and I think this prompt file will really improve many of you guys' campaign. I hope so. Thank you. And Pratik, our team will be in contact with you for the details. Thanks again, and have a great day. Have a great evening.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much. Thanks for your time and your help.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks. The recording will be available. I think we'll publish it tomorrow in the community. So everybody who missed a part of it will be able to see it in full.
Great. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Oleg.
Thanks. Okay, see you. Bye.